Well, boys, unfortunately, the reign of terror for the Seattle Seahawks has been temporarily halted. The Seattle Seahawks lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game that we had to wake up at the crack of dawn to be disappointed for. The Seahawks ended up losing 21-16, and overall, it was just an unfortunate game. A few things I want to get into when it comes to just the overall experience of the game before we talk about the Seahawks. One, the field looked absolutely terrible. The amount of people slipping, the amount of like chunks of grass, the amount of people that are getting injured. Jordan Brooks got hurt after slipping on a third down play that he easily could have made if he could have gotten any traction. That I think the NFL needs to figure something out. If you want to hold these like international games, you need to focus on player safety and make sure that you have fields that are up to par. You barely even have fields that are up to par in the NFL. Like, look at SoFi Stadium. Like, yeah, you might be able to get grip, but a million people get hurt in a minute in that field. So, like, you got to figure out you're within, the NFL, United States stadiums and fields and all that before you start going international and completely ruin everything and try to get people hurt and have people slipping all over the place. That was something that was just annoying to watch because you saw it, both teams. Everyone was dealing with it. People slipping. Jordan Brooks getting hurt. I think a couple other people got hurt. But, I mean, that's kind of what you saw a lot of. And another thing, I don't know if it was just me, but the quality of the video just seemed significantly worse. I don't know if it was like cameras or something where they just didn't have like their normal camera equipment, but the visual quality seemed worse. They had a lot of audio issues, and someone needs to disable the resampling on there because my God, the amount of motion blur was just, it gave me a headache. But enough complaining. Now it's time to get into the game and complain about real things. So let me start you off right here. First things first. You see down here, we got time of possession. Time of possession. Once again, we kind of got back to our ways of getting absolutely dominated in time of possession, and that comes down to one thing: 1 for 9 on third down for us, 10 for 15 on third down for them. That's the big just problem today. Our third down, our offense just wasn't doing well. Our defense couldn't really stop anything. Like our defense was doing all right. Like the run defense, I mean, they ran it 44 times. So they were just running it. They decided they wanted to run today, and it kind of worked for them. Our run game was non-existent, 14 for 39, and yeah, 22 of that was Geno Smith. So, Kenneth Walker, 1.7 per carry, not good at all. This was a game that was, when you look at the stats, very clear that we lost. I'm surprised it was even this close. We had some miracle comeback, kind of almost had it in the fourth quarter, which we didn't really deserve. We started playing good, but if we could have started doing that in the third quarter, maybe we come back and win it. But, fourth quarter, too little, too late. There's really nothing you can do. When it comes to the defense, we got 0 sacks and 1 tackle for loss. Our defense just, I don't know. I saw a lot of people slipping. Like, it's hard to really make moves and get around when it comes to, like, slipping on the field all the time. The biggest amount of like pressure I saw and the biggest amount of success when it came to like running the football or getting pressure, people like getting in the backfield against the Seahawks, was just running straight downhill when you don't have to make cuts because there was just so much slipping. And I think just the quality of the game was lower because the field was worse. Players were slipping. Players were getting hurt. The visual quality was horrible. It was just kind of like the Saints game where it's just watching the game wasn't as good. But this is the game that we didn't deserve to win. Michael Dixon was our best player. He had a punt to the 3 and then a punt to the 2 back to back because we had like 4 3-and-outs. Overall, it just wasn't a good game. Devin White had an amazing game against us. Tariq Woolen got a stupid interception when Leonard Fournette decided he wanted to throw it to Tom Brady. And what happened there? We had Cody Barton right after Jordan Brooks got hurt and went out. Cody Barton, the cracker himself, the chalk demon, decided he wanted to get an interception. That gave everyone, I think, life. If you were watching the game, you were like, oh, yeah, wow, good touchdown for us, but nothing's going to happen. And then, boom, some white dude comes in and gets a pick. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Cody Barton did pretty decent. It was really just trying to stop the run, and we had our good plays, but when they're running it 44 times, You stop them on 50% of the plays, and guess what? They're still doing pretty gosh darn good. Rachaad White, my God, I'm gonna be honest. I barely knew who this man was going into the game, but he killed us. Tom Brady had a decent game, didn't have to do too much. He just, played smart. Geno Smith had a pretty solid game. Started off really, really slow. Started off very poorly, but the whole team did. Geno Smith, he started doing well. He started making those comeback drives. We had one drive coming right out of the second quarter where he just was throwing and throwing and throwing. And it was like 4 first downs in a row, and he looked absolutely incredible. But then he fumbled. I think that was what the drive was. He fumbled, trying to do like a quarterback draw or something. There was just a lot of weird, dumb mistakes that just should not have made such an effect, but it did, and we lost the game because of it. A lot of slips that led to first downs, a lot of bad defense on third down, just overall dumb plays. Could have been a winnable game. The Bucks didn't have a fantastic game. They ran the ball well, but other than that, it's not like they were killing us on offense. It was like 14-0. If we could have scored once in the first half, we would have got the ball in the second half. If that drive didn't end in a fumble, we could have been 14-14 going into the rest of the game. And if we would have had what we still had in the fourth quarter, maybe we kicked that field goal in the first quarter. There's just a lot of things where, what if we did this? What if we did that? If we went for it on 4th and 6, we kicked a field goal that was 57 yards. Jason Meyer nailed the 55. He could have hit a 57, but it's just a bunch of what ifs. There's a lot of dumb mistakes, certain decisions that could have led to different things, different outcomes. But overall, what can you do? This was a very ugly game, and the fact that it was this close is absolutely wild to me. I would have liked to go into the bye week with a little bit more momentum, but this is a team that seems like it wants to fight, and I honestly believe that if this game was played on a normal field, on a high-quality field that wasn't this one, I think we win that game. Of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could have done a lot better too, or a lot of people were slipping for them, but I noticed, me specifically, a lot of plays where players were slipping, like a couple third down plays that were crucial, or a couple like guys getting into the backfield, not being able to move the way that they want to move. They slip instead of making a big play that could have stopped a drive. There's a few plays like that I think could have gone our way if we were on the correct field. But of course, there's plays that were like that could have gone the Bucks' way. But I would have much preferred seeing this game on a field that was better. It was really annoying seeing people slip and seeing people constantly just messing up because of the field. But you can only complain so much. It's not going to do anything. The game's over. We lost 16-21. But honestly, for as bad of a game that this was, to come back and at least make it close, that gives me some hope for the future. I'm not devastated from this. I'm pretty devastated in general just today. Israel Adesanya got mollywhopped last night, won the fight, lost right at the end. That hurt me in my heart. And then the Seahawks come out and lose. That hurts me in my heart. Honestly, I just hope the Broncos lose. I'm going to be honest. If the Broncos lose, maybe I'll be a little bit happier. But I don't know. If the Broncos win today, this will be a pretty bad weekend when it comes to just things I want to see not happening. But, overall, not a great game for the Seahawks. Still made it close. But I think going into the bye week, there's a lot that we can work on, but I don't really think this is a game that is like, oh, wow, we played a good team and now we look absolutely horrible. I think it's kind of a matter of circumstances. You're going across the globe to go play in a horrible field in a stadium that really has no home or away fans. It's just people that want to see football, and it was cool seeing the energy, but it's like you can kind of feed off of it either way for, I think, both sides. Like an away team, you make a big stop and the crowd gets quiet. You keep on building some more momentum. You're like, yeah, stay quiet. Or home team, they're cheering for you. It's like, oh, stuff like that. But there's just a lot of, I think it was lack of familiarity, just bad field. Obviously, everybody in the game was probably terribly jet lagged. I mean, they got in there Friday, I believe. 2 days to, recover from all that is just, I don't know. It seemed like an unfortunate just conglomeration of things that came together to make the game harder than it should have been for both teams. So I don't think we saw as good of a game as we could have. But going into the future, I think the Seahawks will be fine. I think, we may not make the playoffs because this was a pretty big challenge for us, and our run defense looked horrible. Our pass rush looked horrible, but, we'll see what happens going against the Raiders. Josh Jacobs could absolutely destroy us. I believe we play the Raiders next week. But overall, we're going into the bye week. There's a lot to talk about. But coming out of the bye week, we got the Raiders, and I think that is a winnable game. Then we got the Rams. I think that's a winnable game. Panthers, winnable game. 49ers, I think we lose. Kansas City, I think we lose. Jets, winnable game. Rams again, winnable game. Yep, that's it. I think that we could do pretty well for the rest of the season, but this game just was unfortunate overall. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.